Hi, and welcome back to Chef Maxwell's Kitchen. We're going to get a chance today to play with some great Virginia foods like we always do here at the kitchen. Today we're going to be playing with some spinach. Spinach is really, really good, very famous from Virginia. And since it's spring, it's at its perfect time. It needs that cold snap to get it going and get it nice and sweet. But spinach is good as a side vegetable. It's good in a lot of other ways. Today we're going to use it as a sauce for meatballs. All right, so we've got meatballs here, some pork and some beef. I'm going to add some garlic. You could use lamb. There's not a problem with that. We're going to use some onions. All right. We're going to use a little Parmesan cheese, a little breadcrumb, all right, an egg, a little salt and pepper, some pepper, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of nutmeg. Just a touch of nutmeg. Now we're going to mix this up, and this is not pretty to watch, but you're going to have to watch it anyway. So we're going to mix this up until it's nice and smooth, and it's holding together nicely. The eggs will help moisten the breadcrumbs, and then once it starts cooking, the breadcrumbs will absorb some of the juices from the meat and keep it from spilling out into the pan, so you get all that flavor stays in the meatballs. Turn this pan on. Get this olive oil hot. Now, I've told you in the past, I'm not really a fan of cooking with olive oil in a saute situation where you're getting it really hot because it changes its character a little bit. But this actually works well for this recipe. So I've got some oil in there, getting hot. I'm getting my meatballs. I'm going to dredge them in a little bit of seasoned flour. I put some salt and pepper in the flour, right? And in it goes. Right? Needs to get that just a little bit hotter. Get this taken care of. I'm going to roll about 4 or 5 of these meatballs. Right, they're starting to spit a little bit. That's good. I'll put 2 more in there, and then I'm going to start working on this sauce. Let me get my hands cleaned off a little bit here, and we're going to get ready to make this sauce. We get the pan a little bit hot, and we're going to add some oil to the pan, about 2 ounces, and we're going to make a roux with the flour. Now, a roux, and we've talked about roux in the past, how they thicken up sauces, but the ratio is equal weights of a fat and a flour. So we're using 2 ounces by weight of the oil. We need 2 ounces by weight of the flour, and it's about 3 to 1 on the weight ratio for flour. It takes about 3 volume ounces of flour to make 1 weight ounce of flour. That's an approximation. All right, we're going to stir this around and let it get thick. All right, and let that flour taste cook out a little bit. And we'll turn these, not quite yet. Let them cook for a while. Now we're going to add some pepper. Let that cook in there for a little bit. Now we're going to add milk. Now, oftentimes I'll avoid the fat here and use cream, but you're adding basically the same amount of fat, so it really doesn't matter. And if you want to use skim milk or 2% milk or something like that, you certainly can. We'll stir this around, bring it to a boil, and let that start to thicken up a little bit. And now we've got some Gorgonzola cheese, which is an Italian blue cheese. Now, you can use any blue cheese you want, but Gorgonzola is really good in this recipe because it's relatively subtle, works well with the spinach. The standard blue cheese that you would buy might be a little bit strong for some tastes. Turn these over. And we're going to crumble this blue cheese, Gorgonzola, down into the milk. Now, if your sauce gets a little thick like this has, we can add a little bit more milk and thin it down. Okay. Now we got the sauce. I'm going to add our spinach to the sauce. And that is it. That's how you make the meatballs. That's how you make the sauce. We're going to add a little salt to this. Right. And when we come back, we're going to show you how to plate this up. All right, the sauce is just about ready. I added a little bit more milk. The amount of flour that I used, the 2 ounces to the 2 ounces, is enough to thicken a little over a pint of sauce. So we've got that here now. Right, and I'm going to take the meatballs that have cooked, add them to these meatballs that I've cooked. All right. And this goes. And now I'm going to sauce this with the spinach sauce. Take this over here. And over it goes. There's chunks of blue cheese in the meatballs. Now I'm going to take some parsley, just kind of sprinkle it around and on top to finish this dish off. And there we go. We've got meatballs with a spinach and gorgonzola cream sauce. They're delicious. Great hors d'oeuvres, great entree. Once again, we've proved it's more than okay to play with your food. We do it every time here at Chef Maxwell's Kitchen, and we'll